of the sides because Isurus' defense looked impenetrable because their utility was fantastic and because Mayern took it to a whole other level, while some of the, common hard hitters of Complexity seemingly fell flat.
Yeah, and there was it was weird in that first half. Like, some of them just weren't trading. Like, Fang started to climb up there a little bit, but it's just like, a JT of all people is the only one who was doing the most. And even on that CT side, man, how bad would a game would have been if JT only got like 15 kills or just like even 19 kills? But the way he was shooting and everything like that made it feel like, all right, they could mess up and still trip over the finish line. But that's not the case. 7 Inferno losses in a row, and now Isurus are a map up and that much closer to eliminating Complexity completely from the road to Rio.
Reversives here, so an excellent setup from Isurus, but JT, as he has been, continuing the hot streak in with the 2K. Mayern falling towards long, finds what was left of JT, comes back at it with more, and now Grim gonna have to 1v3, but point blank Luchov's got him. That is all 3 pistols so far this series going the way of Isurus.
Yeah, still going. There should see JT come through with the hot 2K, but it's the whole team from Isurus that showed up even more. So the thing is that even from, we talk about Inferno for Complexity and how they had struggles, but this is not a caliber of team that should be able to compare to the teams they've lost to. Well, Isurus, we also watched them play the Inferno, and there was plenty of stuff wrong with it. I didn't see any of that in that second half. So there's been just so much clearly talking and prep and effort and new form from players like Mayern that have just changed suddenly overnight in the best way possible, and they're just focused. They right now, they believe they can win, and they've got to be feeling better than ever. So I want to really be careful about even talking about how Isurus actually struggled a lot on Overpass. Sometimes a loss as bad as it was when they lost to Imperial. Imperial actually a pretty underrated Overpass team, right? At least they've been able to take their biggest wins on that map. And so you could learn a lot in a situation like that, and we've seen that Isurus, they're learners.
Whenever Isurus are tapping into, I think it's that human will to survive. It's that will to keep their dreams alive, to push this, to even have a chance tomorrow at grabbing that last spot. Mayern, easy pickup versus JT. Ton of damage against hallzerk as well, but we will say Complexity have gotten close to the bomb site. There's multiple M4s here, though, and the FAMAS as well of Reversive. So he's the only victim so far to the CT side. This is going swimmingly as Luchov and Noxy come in with the closers, and Isurus convert yet again.
Yeah, so they kind of give it their best shot, try to get close to the site and get onto it. Now, of course, Complexity's map pick, but, I think the first or second most CT-sided map at the moment. So if, Isurus if momentum means anything to them, at least they get to start on a comfort side, plus the pistol, and get rolling, and never fun to try to call these ecos. Now, to finally say something good about Complexity after, I think for the first time since the first half of Inferno, JT's T-side execs are, I think, some of the most memorable, some of the most well thought out and executed in the North American scene. So we'll be looking forward to those.
We'll have to hold our breath for that one then, because for now it's just the last 3 Glocks, which have answered with a kill at the very least.
JT's always going to get his.
So it seems. Top and scoreboards back and forth. JT for Complexity. Complexity falling silent, hoping maybe the CTs would give him a little chance to catch their breath and footing, but it's not going to be the case. Fang looking for the headshot. Just the Juan Dig to move us to round 4. Finally, a frag grenade that doesn't do 50 damage to somebody. Isurus, their utility was lights out on Inferno. Very curious to see how that one moves forward into Overpass as well, because the thing that keeps just kind of like bouncing around in my head is that interview before the map even started. We've been watching Complexity for a long time. We've been looking up to Complexity. We've been studying them prior even to the Road to Rio Americas event. And I mean, Isurus, it felt like...
Yeah, you don't really say that for no reason.
Yeah, everything they threw found its target. Like, if you do that back-to-back maps, well, now I'm giving you credit for just knowing what Complexity are always up to.
It's kind of funny, because I've always said that about Complexity, too, that, like, lower-tier North American teams, Complexity were one of the best to learn from, because they had that structure, and again, like, JT's teams always lead in flash assist, as a stat that Maui always brings up, for example. And I know from the teams that I've worked with, they have copied kind of bar for bar, line for line, execs in every single detail. And because they're very sensible. But yeah, maybe that's kind of given Isurus a tailwind.
Drafting on complexity for now, but Grim won't be able to get that connector kill back. Mayern's out of this one, so he's going to have to lean on his teammates. And we're going to get complexity with the commitment into the B bomb site. We've got one player in the water, one back on graffiti, and a couple scrambling down to try and stave this off. Nico's able to offer us the first hold, but he loses his closest support. So a little bit of pressure here for the man inside the water, and a missed op shot from hallzerk gives the graffiti man in Noxy a chance. Damage is substantial. None of the remaining 3 players here for complexity going to be too comfortable in a duel. But do they take this chance or do they let complexity slip? Yep, 1 round onto the board for complexity the moment they've got guns.
Yeah, some of the damage unconfirmed. You know, a few too many targets. Complexity really earned the site here with this exec. Good entry spread out across the 3 players who are still standing.
Terrorists win.
Obviously, the first part of the battle is kind of recovering the mood. So how much fun they were having before match was live. But, you know, even if you come in saying we're going to take the game seriously, you still have expectations. We're all human. So to see a different version of yourself than you expected, that could be disappointing.
Yeah.
And they have to kind of earn that feeling back that they are the team that should be making it to tomorrow.
Always jarring when expectations don't meet reality. Isurus timeout immediately here, so not going to want to give complexity any chance, any runway whatsoever on this T side. Cool to see Reversive putting up numbers personally, because I think he does kind of get written off as one of the underperforming players of Isurus, statistically at the bottom, and just in terms of the whole entire Road to Rio event, very much down there.
A land player.
Very much down there. And now, in a map that is life or death in terms of qualifying for Rio, he's had some multi-kills. He's been looking good on the rifle. Noxy also has been looking good on the op, giving hallzerk a run for his money. But Grim, connector specialist on Overpass, and that's just simply a lost duel. He gets the first chance, he gets a bunch of damage, and then it gets away from him. So Mayern is gone. He's going to dive back into the site, play the back line, leave 2 teammates ahead of him, one of which is Noxy, scoped in, and hallzerk not far off. But the peek up close, it'll be the rifles, not the op.
Oh,
and
he
just
times it.
Plucks JT off that push.
Unlucky. Doesn't shoot right away, though. Very purposefully. And his teammates will tell him, yeah, you got him.
That coveted patient trigger finger.
I know we're making the final good rotation, of course, Reversive around this point in time. He knows that if they're going to go A, he's fine in this position to stop them, and they can literally cheat 4 back to the other site. Jump spotting on the back of Dice. Complexity, they can try this. They're sitting behind a smoke here with 20 seconds.
But, I mean, if this is just flops, what a feeling it's going to be. They're coming at this with 10 seconds. It's stacked. I mean, it reeks of desperation, but they do at least get the player off of barrels. They've got this chance. It's going to come down to the wire, and then hallzerk no-scoping the smoke. What? They're pulling this out of the hat.
Oh, what?
Deco's on his own, and they get it without any further casualties. Talk about crunch time.
You kidding me? Just because they had the smokes down, that looked like one of the worst setups for an exec that you could possibly ask for. The amount of time left on the clock, no fake towards A, no one to shy back the player who had flanked around long to allow for the final and 4th rotation to come into the B site, and you're only coming in from 1 choke point, and you still win that without losing a player? They just did the impossible.
You could see the little bit of disbelief even just kind of sink into their own reactions. Like,
that was a low energy, low confidence play, but because they won it, that could be a spark.
Floppy with a quick little anti-eco highlight. 3 players running through Molotovs made easy for him, and 5 up for Complexity is excellent, right? And so now they can start to take back some of the storyline here, which is this is the map they beat FaZe on. You know, this is Complexity's wheelhouse.
Yeah.
And despite Isurus coming out hot after that comeback on Inferno, now Cole starting to take what is theirs, tied at 3.
Yeah, and again, my only issue is that like it was almost. Maybe it's a bit of cope, but honestly, I think Complexity could have beat them on Inferno as well.
Sure, yeah,
you know,
sure.
Watching that game.
6 bomb plants, but 5 retakes. That was the tale of Inferno. Noxy finds the opener here, so we can't get ahead of ourselves, right? Up until that actually working, it didn't look like it was going to, and Complexity were going to be questioned. But we get the trade frag back as the long player goes down. A push through Monster with 2. There's a couple of Complexity players on the other side of this. This is going to get wild. Luchov 1, hallzerk quick trade, and he gets the second man inside a Monster as well. So it's a 3 versus 2 advantage, but it's not Isurus with an empty bomb site. Reversive's close enough to stop it if he wants to, but it doesn't look like he wants to push the issue.
Yeah, he's not staying anywhere near here. I'm not sure if he was thinking about going back up to heaven, but they've just decided to do the early save, not even testing the hold on the side. Or are they trying to retake? He's going for the stairs rotation.
Meant by a smoke.
They're giving him time. They haven't planted the bomb. They're just confused how they walked into an open site, but Reverse have maybe done something here that gives them their only chance. Let's see if he can find Fang.
See if he wants to.
Maybe next round. Oh.
There's a lot of back and forth in these decisions.
This was a little confusing.
A little, ooh.
I think sometimes you fall back graffiti. If you have a teammate, you can boost up and hold the site that way. You don't want to just sit necessarily on CT or graffiti holding an angle. But I'm kind of surprised they don't, try to play back pit, look for a multi, look for even one, and hope that rotation comes in, or just gamble early. But at least they save totally.
So they'll move that op in the M4 forward with the 3 survivors of Complexity as well. But it is not yet time for celebration. Hyper focus after the first map collapse. Nice opening pick from Nox. This was critical for Fang to just win the duel versus Mayern. There was no help for either of those players.
This is well handled as well. hallzerk knowing, okay, he's in my arena. Like, if I swing right away, it's just waste because he can't back up fast enough. So delays a second, plays with him. 3 pistols to support the 2 save guns. 2 very good guns, though. Flash misses. Grim struggling a bit today.
Coming off of a world-class performance at the Pro League playoffs. Then Floppy kind of took over, actually, once the Road to Rio got started here in Stockholm. And,
ouch.
Well, we question him, he delivers. Noxy gets rocked.
The triple
Love
boost.
That.
Wow, they held that forever.
3-man boost. Again, you've only got limited weapons, right?
Yeah.
So commit the pistols. They can't offer you too much.
Same MO here from hallzerk, holding back with the op.
Smoke for front sight being lined up.
This is all going to be heard. Oh, there's 2 either side of Monster.
Floppy was hoping for that second one, but instead Luchov pushes into short. Oh, just can't reach for that gun. But if Fang's not cautious, yeah, what's left of Isurus is here to fight him. He's tagging down to 57. He's dead. But hallzerk, he locks it in, both getting the flank first and then that final kill on short side. The Opper sustaining Complexity as they rack up another some costs in that one, considering that it was just the M4 to triple boost first.
Yeah, they had the op as well, but it just got taken out right away. So that was probably just the expectation here for Isurus. Keep the money somewhat low if possible, or just kind of win back some money. hallzerk actually touches 10K now. Good job of keeping that op. Full strength buy about to come in here for both teams. On a second timeout for Isurus.
That was the op, right? Inside connector?
Yes.
Noxy? Yeah.
There was
Tough job for an op, staring at a smoke and then Grim's inside it. Deep nade. Nice. Little chip damage on reversive. Could make some counter wall bangs a little easier, but we get majority of complexity stacking up outside monster. Deco's gonna get ready.
We heard this. Another flash? No, it's a late smoke.
Oh, but they still get 2 kills and the third right after. And there's another player here for Isurus, so that is excellent. The fact that each of those players picks up at least 1 kill, even though the flash didn't blind them. You know, straight up gun duel and complexity don't deliver. There's a little recovery attempt here with Grim trying to press through that smoke. Luchov. Now the flash hits its mark, and while hallzerk blind no scopes Luchov.
How blind was he right there? I think he was looking at the wall too.
Yeah.
I think so. They used the flash. I call these empty flashbangs when you don't swing with them. It's not really an official word for them, just something people do. But they use that flash just to hear if anybody's scaling monster, because they'll jump around, freak out. And when they hear that, I thought, okay, he's going to flash again and they're going to swing. But instead of doing that, they just brought in the support from the back on the left of the pillar, so they have a far angle. And then they had Stecco, I think it was spamming the wall, this very deep wall bang, and they both just got kills. Both had very good fights.
Good bit of aggression here. Got to be careful if you're Fang. You're getting swarmed. He's got 2 players point blank on him. He's going to find nothing other than a bullet upside the head. And hallzerk smoked the second he tries to pry into this B site, but luckily he's got a teammate, so they'll boost. And that molly making them a little uncomfortable. Reversive can still hold his position. Ooh! Wow. hallzerk quick with it. And while 2 of these T's fall back from short side, another couple decide to push right out through monster. Noxy gets drawn into that fight, but then he's just left on a silver platter. And with fire on the bomb site, they have to hold. Mayern doesn't wait. Comes out from graffiti, chips away again and again, and hallzerk's nearly dead here. He's gonna go back, and he brings one down. With 2 health, hallzerk hangs on, and he gets a second. If you're gonna go at him, you better kill him all the way, because complexity lean on that opper to deny any further frags.
Looking at the top players of the event, hallzerk's not on there. You know, Floppy is of the one player from complexity in the top 10, and he's shown very good face. But you know, hallzerk's never really had insanely huge games. But these T-side refrags, like after he gets naded down to 2 HP, he's the first one to peek with the op and nails that frag. And that's what he consistently does on the T side. He's not worried about whether or not it's aggressive or defensive. If it's the right decision, he's going to try it, and he's very clutch with it. And right there, they lose a 5v4. He goes up on the sandbags and hits that incredibly hard shot to the side of the pillar. Could have easily died and lost the round.
Yeah, hallzerk really strikes me as like a round winner. You know, some people like to play it safe. Some people like to be the guy, and hallzerk really is that. 11 and 4 off of the back of those 2 kills. I think he also holds himself to an incredibly high standard, right? He gets frustrated when he doesn't pull off the miracle rounds.
Yeah, he destroyed that chair yesterday.
He's just beating on it. So you like that, right? He brings fire, and I think it like literally brought fire to complexity. Grim has never had a teammate who hyped him up more than hallzerk does now. And look what we got out of Grim in the Pro League playoffs.
He's 4 and 7.
but not in playoffs. Tonight, yeah. Not quite that ridiculous performance. Mayern. Ooh. Goes into it. Picks up one. Grim's got the trade. So they lean all the way back now. We've got a CT just outside the doorway. An additional defender on this B site. Jump spotting. And in a second, it's a surprise. Deco on the railing. Not spotted from the monster player, but if they come through the tunnel right now, yeah, he's going to get attacked, and he almost swings that back onto Floppy and Fang. He actually tags up both those players. Now, Luchov's going to be primed to do something spectacular, but with just the MP9, that'll help. Reversive. He catches Grim on the push-up, so it's just the monster players now, and Luchov, he decides to take it on his own accord. Fang 1v3, 2 left to take. Bomb in his hands, Opper close, fakes it once, and he's not going to find anything else after that. Isurus. They squeeze another round win out of the CT side.
Yeah, nice rotation there from Reversive. Got down the stairs, timely fashion. And they kept that MP9 presence in back pit, even though he was alone for just a second. I think it was Luchov. Support came through, shots got hit. And they keep this one closer. It's a marginally competitive overpass so far. Still, of course, you'd rather be complexity. 6 round seaside, got that out of the way.
I don't know, after Inferno, I'm not willing to give complexity any, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, very true.
1 half's not enough right now, no matter what. Oh! Floppy just clotheslines Deco, and then Luchov with a little trade back. JT welcomed in. We got 2 CTs in the pit, and the third about to arrive towards Graffiti. They try to smoke it off. The trade's good. Reversive hanging on. He's got Noxy back behind him. It's only 2 Ts here for the time being, but that's a great distraction to set up JT. So now Reversive, who's known, of course, to complexity, has to do it all. JT goes hunting, and JT's starting to deliver yet again.
Yeah, he played that extremely well. Just held control, that headshot area, didn't overextend. Keep the guy in back pit. You know, there's a lot of situations where you can even plant with somebody sitting right there behind the default in the pit. They can't react all the time, especially if they can't run up the left side. And that's what JT recognized right there and just made sure that anybody who came into that vision, they were going to go down. But outside of that, he just had to be patient.
Oh, Floppy. This guy's on skates right now. But he doesn't push the issue. A swarm of pistol players here from Isurus inside B. Lots of smokes though, so goal clearly burned down the time.
I actually like the idea from Isurus. I mean, I feel like Complexity are playing games about what they're going to do, but then they're almost always ending B late round if it's still a 5v5. It's kind of hard to source complete information on the A side just because it's like 40 miles away. And I think they might have actually confirmed 2 CTs here, which means the rotation for the CTs actually could just lean into this full stack, and it looks like they are going to cheat over. Isurus have a very good read here, and they've also got this extra 2 smokes.
One more goes down. Short players trying to press in, and that's an opening. But AK into the hands of Deco. They line up for him. He gets Floppy in the back, and then they clear out the monster players, so all is good for now. hallzerk gets the scope up, and Complexity get the round in.
Hey, not all good ideas work. They had better guns, of course. That would have been a pretty perfect round. And they played their positions like they did, and they had just enough utility to make it feel very uncomfortable. As we saw, the Complexity players have to run through those smokes. It's kind of a good sign for Isurus, but still, we're closing up this half now. Complexity with a 3-round gap. Maybe they can now start to forget about Inferno.
Ooh, Mayer. There's been a lot of movement from Complexity inside short, so not too shocked to see CTs get aggressive, but they do it on 2 different fronts. Through Monster as well. Yeah, they put on their gloves and spawn and ran at that B site throwing haymakers.
Reach into the Vaseline.
Yeah, like Darth Mike.
I think once again it's this kind of pretending game. And of course Fang's defaulting every round. Reversive's in a spot that, as long as there's this guy jump spotting back on Dice, he's kind of impossible to clear safely. Fang throws the smoke down, actually gives himself an option, but then Reversive activates. That's just perfect.
Nicely done.
Response, yeah.
Oh, and luchov saves his teammate. Despite it being close, Deco will finish hallzerk, and floppy gets turned on. luchov, big moment from him. That's 14 frags on the board now. And just locking down a B site. Again, Isurus, they knew what they wanted to fight for. B from start to finish.
Yeah, for sure. They just never lost sight of that. And it felt like with Reversive flanking, like he did as soon as that first smoke came out, he wasn't worried about a full A exec. He was looking to catch Fang on A alone once again in this default. So they are reading the game really well.
We'll give Isurus credit where it has been earned. Tale of 2 halves. Grab that 7th and see if they can improve on Complexity's 8. Potential for 9, but Desert Eagle for JT. I think it bodes well for Complexity that JT is not the one who has to overperform again this map to just get them competitive. It's hallzerk and floppy that are doing the heavy lifting. Mayer not hiding. Giving himself a little room to work here. He takes a ton of damage. It's luchov up, and it's floppy down. Bomb drop. Smoke onto the short side. Oh, but they get a second because the fire spreads. And now it's Complexity man advantage. They hold flank, and hallzerk just shreds 2 heads to give Complexity an open avenue for round number 9. Noxy just going to take the gamble that they do commit after clearing out the flank, which would make sense. But Complexity are going to be a little tempered with this and take their damn time.
Yeah, they've got lots of time on the clock. What a 2K, man.
JT goes in. He's got to clear everything.
Yeah, he's trying to be the most annoying possible here.
And he is.
But
he gets no-scoped. That'll be his maker. hallzerk planted for the bathrooms. Noxy's got to rotate back in desperately, blind, and on only 35. First player towards Banks got him in the bag. It's Fang with his 9th. And it's Complexity with the same. 9 rounds on a T side of a map we know they can compete on. But Isurus have this trend of winning pistols, and that could be the key to bringing this back after the break. So after a good first half on Overpass, Complexity hoping that they can wipe their minds and ours alike, that Inferno never really happened. Of course, Isurus hanging on to that and hoping that they can do the exact same thing. If anything, they've inspired themselves that on a swapping of the sides, they can just totally lock out Complexity. But, of course, a T-side on Overpass, a daunting task. Let's see if they've got it in them.
Yeah, you have brought up the pistols, and that will matter. And probably, you know, despite all the other great rounds that went into it with Isurus, the pistols probably helped a ton in ensuring that victory came as soon as it did, that's for sure. So maybe Complexity, the gods are gracious enough, can grant them one.
Noxy with that armored P250. A legendary pistol buy. Kind of left to do his own thing here. Dodges the CT flash, of which one more held on to by Complexity. Kit for JT, of course. Reversive starting to empty out that utility belt. And he's dedicating those grenades into the B bomb site. Lots of posturing going on here. Again, 3 for 3 on pistols is Isurus. Looking for the golden 4. Grim. Yeah, he's going to hit that bomb carrier. Down it goes. Finally. You know, everybody's just vying for position until the fist fight starts. Grim with a couple knockouts. 3 versus 5 attempt here. As Floppy now gets into the action, all looks the way of Complexity. And if they can kick off a CT side early, then they should do as many would expect and pick up this map pick. But Tico wants that P250. Not going to find it. They've found him, and they have his bomb. He's got to hope that they mess this up. And despite there being a good amount of damage on Fang, it's not going to happen here. Cole win their first pistol.
Yeah, that was a clean one. A very perfect swing there from Grim. Little banter goes back and forth. Hey, I was feeling it. So I swung. What about it? That's Grim. I was doing an impression of Grim.
Grim doesn't sound like that at all.
I'm walking you. Come, where's my gabagool?
I find Grim a little more soft-spoken.
Yeah. For the record, he really does not sound like that at all.
Yeah, either of those voices.
Yeah.
But he does have a newfound swagger.
You think I'm funny to you?
Am I a joke?
Funny like a clown?
That's what Maui Snake actually sounds like.
A clown?
Yeah. Here we go. Glocks. Ooh, look at all that utility damage. Complexity taking a page out of Isurus' book. A classic. Every person who's ever played a map of Overpass has done the old 5-man Glock rush long, and look, it actually works. Nobody here for Complexity to keep eyes on it.
It's going to be a jump scare for hallzerk.
At the very least, it's a bomb plant. They still Oh my god.
Wait a second.
Yo.
History could be made.
This is no laughing matter. They just disrespected that Molotov. The bathroom's distractions being dealt with. Reversive and Noxy each come in with the kill. And okay. A collective sigh of relief released by North America. Complexity almost just fell victim. Luckily, Fang's laughing it off, but I mean, 5 Glocks just running down long. They got away with the plant, and 3 kills. That's actually huge.
hallzerk got hit in the head by 3 different bullets from 3 different Glocks, I think.
Yeah, he didn't die from the bullets. He died from the whiplash.
Yeah. He's probably got a pinched nerve right now in real life after that.
Floppy didn't find that funny, though.
Guys, that's not funny.
Guys.
That does sound like Floppy.
Yeah. Here we go. Guns
you want to
up.
do the sound for Howl or what?
No. Maybe if he gets an ace.
Okay.
Oh, hallzerk. Thought for a second maybe he'd walk into Noxy's scope, but Noxy goes for the fiddly D, jump through smoke reposition. And that's going to be man advantage complexity. The first gun round, the first test from Isurus.
That was your first sign that they're just faking. How close is hallzerk there? It looks like he's just on the left. Oh my god! hallzerk? So you know he's fully American. Skeet shooting.
Yes, sir. Pull. Damn.
That was a great shot.
I feel like hallzerk took that first map loss personally.
Yeah.
He's been going for it on Overpass. Deco's attempt. Ooh, and JT with the MP9s got him another one. So complexity, this is going easily. MP9 racks up some more cash. Reversive just wants to hold on to the AWP to put that back in the hands of Noxy, who is probably not looking forward to trying to deal with what is a white-hot hallzerk at the moment.
What's his nickname?
Whose?
The Norwegian Nightmare.
That's not a bad one. I've been thinking about it lately.
It's on the radar now. I was looking at the minimap and I just saw him in the corner. I was like, that looks like he's in that smoke. And he was just right out in front of it. Wow. Oh, that's fast. I mean, it's fast enough if you're pre-aiming it. And he hit that on a flick.
Sick shot. I also wouldn't mind if we just started calling him Joe Dirt.
Yeah, that's a good one. Kind of a boomer reference, though, unfortunately. I said it the other day, and I was like, damn, that was a long-ass time ago.
Yeah. That's where I learned about mullets. Desert Eagle here for Deco. Poor guy. Saves the op and has to give it away. Gets a pistol in return. He's got to throw all the utility. It's not a job with a lot of glory, but somebody's got to do it. It's got hallzerk occupied in connector. JT's thinking he wants a piece of this. I think hallzerk was just spotted.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. But hallzerk creeps back into the angle, doubles back up into Noxy, and he is now 20-7 here on Overpass.
All hard shots, by the way.
Fang ready for the peek with Grim. So, nice two-man setup here, and Isurus just hitting an absolute brick wall at the moment. Fang will get dropped by Mayern. Some kind of an answer. They've got 50 seconds if they're fed another frag, but that would have to bank off of a mistake from complexity. They can just hide and wait and win.
Unfortunately, feels like the same thing happening now, just a cycle of op not getting the opening, or in this case getting outdone by the op of complexity, and then a prolonged save, basically, to try to take it into the next round, but they find it here early. That's not going to come back. Weren't you eating breakfast with these guys?
I did have breakfast with complexity the other day. Yeah, actually, here's what happened. I said, yo, Maui, I'm going down for breakfast. He said, great, I'll join you. So I go down to the breakfast table. I grab a table. He shows up with complexity. They're grabbing food. And then Maui Snake doesn't sit with me. Because Floppy was sitting down first, and Floppy sat down at the table next to me. Maui Snake came over, he looked me in the eyes, and he says, it's too early to deal with this. I can't. And then he joined them instead.
So his last name is just hiding in plain sight.
Huh? Yeah, a real snake.
The little snake.
Yes, sir. Good stream of flashbangs out from Monster. It's gonna get the ball rolling, but Floppy stops it right then and there. Get back to the depths of which you came. You can't run. You can't hide. Not from the flop.
Floppy paid $30 for that mouse pad, and he's only using $2 of it.
Yeah, that's how you can save it. You know, then you rotate it 90 degrees and
it lasts you
fresh mouse pad.
Your whole career.
Yeah, it's not made of money.
But if you don't put your arm on there, you don't get any skin cells in it, and that's what helps you flick more consistently.
According to some. Ugh. 20 kills from Floppy, 20 frags for hallzerk. Now we're getting back to what we could have expected in terms of the fragging formula of complexity. hallzerk posted. This time, it's not going well. A chance for Grim, but only one. It's going to be the 4 versus 2 here for Isurus. So now it's their chance to finally break through what's a dominant CT side. Isurus going through what Complexity had to deal with on Inferno.
Wait. Ooh, he just ran right by Fang.
But if he's... Nah, but he made so much sound that Floppy heard it.
Well,
maybe?
Now he did, but Fang could have just turned there.
Floppy's ready. Gets the kill.
So what happened there? 2 died in stairs at the same time, and then someone died on B side as well?
No, somebody died on Playground.
Oh, okay.
And 2 in Connector.
Gotcha. Where's the other X? Oh, I see. I'm wearing glasses.
Nerd. Sounded like Goofy.
Yeah.
Stern focus from Isurus. Again, Inferno in their back pocket, but still job not done.
I mean, they knew that this was going to be an Inferno or Dust 2. They could see it coming, so I'm sure they had enough time to prepare everything, plus playing Inferno and Overpass more than once so far at the road to Rio. Lots to build on.
And of course, if Complexity can tank another couple rounds, then this party's going to nuke. Could serve as the middle ground. Analysts called it from the start. Without Inferno, didn't seem likely, but they've got Inferno, so the question mark remains. Push from Monster. Luchov, he's kind of stuck halfway through the pipe. What did you call those flashbangs? The ones that make them shoot and make sound?
Oh, if you don't swing with it, I call it an empty flashbang.
Empty flashbang. hallzerk, it's going to be point blank. Easy. Down goes Noxy. We thought he was just going to be able to walk into that A site for free. It costs him his life. Luchov got canceled out when he finally tried to push through that monster, and now Fang here to support inside the A site. hallzerk takes to the top rope. Looks to drop bombs on Isurus and the 2 players inside bathrooms, but there's also this long player that could serve up a bit of an issue for Complexity had he not got cottoned down by the Norwegian. And now Fang and Grim are just waiting for their chance to eat, but hallzerk feasts instead. 4 kills for hallzerk to take him to 24 and 8. He said, I didn't move to North America to lose.
Yeah, he said it was easy, and he's proven it. Man, that's dominance right there. So many great rounds, man, in this one map alone. And it was starting off on the T side. He was top fragging already. 14 or 15 kills or so.
Damn.
Huge. Great find for Complexity.
Seems like a great fit. Of course, it always looks good when things are going well, and they have been exceeding expectations as of late. All of a sudden, it feels like the success story of Pro League would be chipped away at if they're not able to qualify for Rio, and definitely if they don't even get a chance tomorrow. So, to take back a map loss from the series, to tie us at 1 each.
That's an interesting push.
That's a polite way to put it. Interesting.
Interesting, yes. Yeah, the 5v4, they just lose 1 here. They just wanted hallzerk to get some more action.
Well, he's about to.
Oh, not again. Wait, this. Whoa. Oh, they almost caught him. My goodness, that was a small timing. But, well, I don't know if he hears that. If he does, then... No, he doesn't. Oh!
Wow.
Noxy just missed, and he literally just walked back. Oh! It's not stopping now.
Yo, this guy's an animal. He sees the shadow coming. He is hyper-focused, and he's not missing. Deco finally puts him down, but it's Isurus that fall flat here on Overpass. A measly 7 rounds on this second map, a map that we, of course, expect Complexity to pick up. I mean, they've beaten the likes of FaZe. And now that they've drawn this one back off of Isurus, we go the distance here on day 4. The road to Rio coming to an end, but not for one of these two teams. Nuke up next.